They told you reality is what you can see, touch, and measure. But what if that's just the surface? What if everything you believe to be real is only the lowest frequency layer of a vast, multidimensional system, one designed to keep you limited? Astral travel, also called out-of-body experience or soul projection, has been recorded for thousands of years. Ancient Egyptians practiced it. Tibetan monks mapped it, indigenous shamans trained for it, and yet today, it's dismissed as fantasy, not because it lacks truth, but because it holds too much of it. You see, the moment you step beyond the body, the system of control starts to break. You no longer see the world through its lens, you see it from above. Outside the program boundaries, you realize you are not the thoughts you've been given, you are not your flesh, your history, your ID number. You are consciousness, fluid, aware, and infinite. And here's the secret. Astral projection isn't rare. Most people have done it in dreams, near-death experiences, or deep meditations without even knowing it. The only difference between accidental and intentional projection is awareness. And awareness is power. When you consciously leave your body, everything shifts. Gravity becomes optional. Distance becomes irrelevant. Time becomes non-linear. You're no longer in a room. You're inside a field of energy, a reflection of your own vibration. And the farther you go, the more you learn. Reality is not a place, it's a mirror. But the real question isn't if astral travel is real, it's why it's been hidden, and what you're supposed to find once you cross over. Your first steps outside the body might feel like dreams, floaty, fragmented, unreal. But look closer. The colors are sharper, the air vibrates differently, and there's a presence, like the world is watching you watch it. This isn't your imagination, it's the astral layer, the energetic blueprint that overlays physical existence. And just like a blueprint, it's full of information that most people never learn to read. In this realm, movement doesn't require muscles. You travel through intention. Where your focus goes, your energy follows. That's why emotions act like engines. Fear pulls you into dense, murky zones. Love launches you into expansive, radiant spaces. Every person carries their own version of the astral. It's shaped by their beliefs, memories, and emotional patterns. That's why some people encounter cities of light, while others wander through shadowy, looping corridors. The astral doesn't lie. It reflects, brutally, honestly. And this is where it gets dangerous, but not in the way they told you. The real threat isn't demons, it's projection, your own unresolved pain, your subconscious fears. They manifest here with no filter. They wear your face, your voice, and they teach if you're willing to learn. Most people get scared and rush back to their bodies, but the brave stay. They observe, they ask, why is this fear here? What does this symbol mean? Because in the astral, symbols are maps. Shapes, colors, and beings aren't decoration. They're messages from your deeper self. If you ignore them, you loop. If you decode them, you evolve. The architecture of the non-physical isn't random. It's structured like a fractal, each layer leading to a deeper one, each level reflecting back a part of your soul you left behind. And the deeper you go, the more you feel it. You're not just visiting, you've been here before. As you descend through the layers of the astral, you begin to sense a structure, not made of matter, but of intention. It's not a place you can walk through. It's a geometry of consciousness, built from the echoes of your choices, memories, and beliefs. This is where the architecture reveals itself. You encounter realms that seem ancient, yet familiar. Temples floating in silence, libraries that whisper your name, gates that won't open unless your frequency is right. These are not metaphors. They are interfaces, spiritual technologies designed to test, awaken, or protect. Why does this structure exist? Because consciousness needs context to evolve, and the astral provides it in the purest form. It's the middle ground between the physical and the divine, a reflection space, a training ground, a mirror maze. Here, the laws are different. Time folds, identity is fluid. You might find yourself shifting into a younger version of yourself, or meeting a future self who remembers this very moment. You might speak without sound, see without eyes, understand without words. And sometimes you won't be alone. You'll meet others, some like you, wandering souls, others ancient, luminous, and silent. They don't speak in language, they transmit. They're not guides in the traditional sense. They are frequencies in form, responding to your resonance like a tuning fork. The deeper you go, the more obvious it becomes. The architecture of the astral is not built for tourism. It's built for initiation. It adapts to you, tests you, responds to the honesty of your presence. If you come to escape the world, it shows you the prison you've built inside yourself. If you come to remember who you are, it begins to open doors, not all at once, but one by one, in sync with your willingness to step through. So ask yourself, are you exploring or are you being called? And if it's a call, who or what is calling you? If this journey is resonating with you, if something deep inside feels like it's waking up, don't stop here. Subscribe now and stay connected. The next dimension isn't just a place, it's a shift you've been preparing for your whole life. There's a reason ancient mystery schools never taught astral travel lightly. It wasn't just a curiosity, it was a rite of passage, because once you cross into the non-physical, once you realize you can exit the body and still exist, everything changes. The world stops being what it seemed. Reality fractures open, and you begin to see the scaffolding behind the illusion. But here's the paradox. The astral isn't a place you go to. It's a layer you tune into, like a radio frequency that's always been broadcasting, but you've only now adjusted your dial. That shift in perception doesn't happen by accident. It's cultivated through intention, through vibrational alignment, through the stillness that modern life constantly tries to distract you from. And when you get there, it's not always beautiful. Sometimes it's disorienting. Sometimes it's heavy, because you're not just meeting otherworldly landscapes. You're meeting parts of yourself that the waking world never asked you to acknowledge. You see, the architecture of the astral isn't just built from thought, it's built from memory, from karma, from the energetic residue of your choices, your beliefs, your wounds. So when people describe traveling through tunnels, or seeing mirrors, or meeting beings that feel oddly familiar, they're not hallucinating. They're navigating an energetic blueprint that was written before they were born. And that blueprint, it's interactive. It changes as you change, because your inner frequency acts like a key. The more you evolve, the deeper you can go. The more aligned you are, the clearer the terrain becomes. But if you enter scattered, fearful, filled with doubt, you'll see those emotions take form around you. That's why intention is everything. Before sleep, before meditation, before attempting to separate from the body, your why must be clean, because the astral answers what you bring. It reflects you, amplified. And in this reflection, something powerful happens. You begin to see that the lines between spirit and matter, between dream and memory, between imagination and reality, aren't as solid as we've been told. In fact, they were never solid to begin with. The deeper you go into the astral, the less you rely on logic to navigate. You begin to operate from knowing, not the kind taught in schools, but a raw, cellular memory. It's like remembering a language you never consciously studied, a song your soul already knows the words to. And this is where the architecture of the non-physical truly reveals itself. You realize the astral isn't chaos, it's coded, structured not by concrete and steel, but by intention and resonance. Think of it as a multi-dimensional library. Every corridor holds data. Every shift in vibration takes you to a new wing. And the books aren't written in ink. They're lived experiences, soul contracts, archetypal patterns. This is why experienced travelers often report visiting halls of learning, cities of light, or temples of sound. These aren't metaphors, these are actual zones within the astral framework, accessible based on your vibrational readiness. You don't stumble into them, you match them. You earn access through inner alignment. And the keepers of these places, they vary. Some are guides, others fragments of your higher self. Some appear as ancient beings, others as symbols, voices, or presences felt rather than seen. But one thing is consistent, they do not command. They reflect, they offer. The real test is always internal, because the astral is not here to impress you, it's here to awaken you. It asks questions that pierce your assumptions. Why are you really here? What are you avoiding? What part of you is still trapped in illusion? And sometimes it offers no answers, just mirrors. The most profound teachings don't come from entities. They come from how you respond to what you encounter, how you face fear, how you handle beauty, whether you cling or let go. Because in this realm, your attachments scream louder than your intentions. And if you're not aware, you'll follow echoes thinking they're guides. That's why preparation is more than technique. It's purification, cleansing the noise, honing the signal, not because the astral demands perfection, but because clarity gives you access. You see more when you're not clouded by the residue of fear, ego, or fantasy. And when you are clear, truly clear, you begin to recognize something extraordinary. You've been here before. In dreams you dismissed, in flashes during meditation, in the weightless moments between sleep and waking. You didn't just discover the astral, you returned to it. And with every return, the architecture becomes more familiar, more detailed, less like myth, and more like memory. So you've crossed the threshold, you've seen the architecture, you've touched a truth that refuses to be forgotten. Now what? This is the part no one tells you. Returning is just as important as traveling, because the insights you bring back are seeds. But seeds are useless if they're never planted. The astral doesn't just want you to explore, it wants you to integrate. You weren't meant to live in the other realms. You were meant to bridge them, to walk between dimensions with awareness intact, to remember who you are beyond your name, beyond the flesh, and to carry that remembrance into this dense, distracted world. And here's the real paradox. The more you explore the astral, the more rooted you become in the present. You stop sleepwalking. You begin to see the patterns, the illusions, the games. You stop reacting and start responding from a deeper center. That's what changes everything. Astral travel isn't escapism, it's embodiment. It's remembering that you are both the traveler and the map, the observer and the creator. And once you've touched that truth, the fear of death dissolves. Because how can you fear the end when you've already seen what lies beyond it? This is why the ancients made it sacred, why they guarded the teachings, not to keep them from you, but to preserve their purity. Because the astral isn't entertainment, it's evolution, a mirror that reflects your readiness, and a doorway that opens only to those who knock with clear intent. And now that you've stepped through, you can't unsee what you've seen. You've glimpsed the layers, the symbols, the infinite, and maybe, just maybe, something in you has woken up. So what do you do now? You walk the path with greater presence. You breathe with more awareness. You meditate not to escape, but to return. You live like someone who remembers there's more, and behaves accordingly, because there is more. And in the next episode, we explore the ancient maps left behind, the diagrams, texts, and teachings from Egypt, Tibet, and beyond. Maps that don't just describe the afterlife, but show us how to move through it, not as victims of fate, but as conscious travelers reclaiming forgotten knowledge. But until then, ask yourself this. If the architecture of the astral is shaped by your frequency, then what reality are you building right now with your thoughts? And is it one worth returning to?